Today, we're going to be exploring a truly fascinating piece of technology that literally bridges the vastness of space with the very dirt beneath our feet. We're looking at a real standout project from the Bhartiya Antariksh Hackathon 2026. It was developed by a brilliant team led by Om Gaikwad. They've proposed this platform called Agrintelligence, and, well, as we'll see, it essentially gives agriculture supervision. It's pretty amazing.
I mean, just think about this for a second. What if we could cure a dying crop before a farmer ever sees a single yellow leaf? We're talking about taking the invisible and making it completely visible. With our ever-growing global population and just totally unpredictable climate these days, this isn't just some neat tech trick, it's an absolutely vital superpower for global food security. So the core problem we're facing today is that traditional farming is, well, it's fundamentally reactive, right? It relies entirely on visible symptoms. By the time a farmer actually looks out at a field and sees wilting or yellowing or stunted growth, that plant is already in deep, deep distress. And at that point, intervention is usually way too slow, it's too expensive, or it's simply just too late to prevent a devastating loss in yield. We're essentially fighting a war completely blindfolded.
Okay, let's dive into the structured roadmap to see exactly how Agrintelligence solves this whole thing. We're going to cover 1. The agricultural blind spot, 2. The multimodal AI solution, 3. Seeing the invisible, 4. Beyond the crop, and finally, 5. Architecture and cost.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the agricultural blind spot.
Now you might be wondering, hey, don't we already use satellites for farming? And yeah, we do, but let's compare the two paradigms here. The existing way relies mostly on optical satellite imagery, which is basically just taking pictures from space, with totally separate systems for analyzing crops and irrigation. It really lacks predictive transparency. But Om Gaikwad's team, they're proposing a massive leap forward. A rapid multimodal AI that doesn't just look at pictures, it actually fuses multiple data types into a single unified GIS platform. And crucially, it uses explainable AI. That means it doesn't just spit out a prediction, it tells the farmer exactly why it's making that prediction, complete with confidence scores. How cool is that?
Moving right along to Section 2, the multimodal AI solution.
So this unified engine, it doesn't just do one thing. It actually powers 8 distinct features. We're talking rapid crop ID, spectral fingerprint analyzing, growth stage intel, and detecting hidden stress. Plus, a yield engine, disease forecasting, canal management, and even mapping wildlife zones. It pulls off this whole shebang by intelligently fusing optical imagery, weather data, soil records, and SAR data. SAR, by the way, is essentially radar that can literally see right through clouds. Pretty wild, right?
To really wrap our heads around how powerful this is, let's look at spectral fingerprint analysis. Think of this as the platform's ultimate superpower. You know how you have a unique fingerprint? Well, every crop reflects light differently across various spectrums, and a lot of those are completely invisible to the human eye. So by reading this unique spectral DNA, or basically a barcode from space, the AI can distinguish a perfectly healthy soybean plant from a stressed one, literally weeks before a human ever could.
That brings us to Section 3, seeing the invisible.
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer depth of actionable intelligence we get in one place. We're looking at a specific field in Mawadi village. The AI identifies it as soybean with a massive 95% confidence score. But let's look deeper. It tracks the phenological pattern, showing us it's in the flowering stage, and flags hidden moisture levels at 34%, which it scores as moderate water stress. It even plots the current NDVI, which is a key indicator of plant greenness, against an ideal 5-year baseline. It is quite literally an entire agricultural physical, done instantly, from orbit.
And the platform doesn't just stop at one field. It scales up to entire regional water networks. Here we see the Aquaflow intelligence system at work. The platform identifies areas with very high water stress. We're talking up to 86%. By overlaying this stress map directly onto the main canal distribution network, water authorities can actively route water precisely to the drought zones that need it the absolute most. It optimizes distribution and prevents crop failure before it even starts.
All right, on to Section 4, beyond the crop.
So it turns out, when you build an AI that perfectly understands environmental data, it has applications far beyond just plants and water. And this brilliantly illustrates that point, a wildlife-prone zone mapper. By cross-analyzing habitat suitability, like, forest proximity and water sources, the system predicts where local wildlife might actually wander. It's a completely unexpected but totally vital pivot. It helps farmers protect their crops from hungry visitors while also promoting a safer coexistence with the local wildlife. A real win-win.
And finally, Section 5, Architecture and Cost.
So the intelligence is revolutionary for sure, but is it realistic? This architecture translates the complex tech stack that makes the whole thing possible. At the bottom, you've got diverse data sources like radar and optical satellites feeding directly into cloud storage. That raw data is processed through hybrid AI models, leveraging really powerful algorithms like random forest and LSTM. And then it's channeled securely through a fast API gateway. Finally, it's delivered to the user via a really sleek interactive web dashboard. Basically, it's robust, it's highly scalable, and it's fully cloud-native.
Let's move on and see how this actually builds a prediction. The project outlines a 10-step process, but we can distill it into these 5 critical phases. First up, data pre-processing cleans out all the satellite noise. Second, we extract specific indicators through feature engineering. Third, we fuse all those diverse data streams together. Fourth, the hybrid AI engine processes spatial and temporal trends. And finally, explainable AI uses SHAP values, which is essentially showing the AI's math to provide those really transparent confidence scores we talked about earlier.
But what does it actually cost to build this? Well, the team mapped out a highly practical pilot for 8 villages. If we review the budget, the software development and AI integration take up the largest chunk at 2 lakh rupees. But the rest of the budget is highly efficient. It covers maintenance, GIS processing, cloud infrastructure, and deployment. And all those come in under 1 lakh rupee each.
So the crucial point is this final number, $500,000. That is the total estimated cost in Indian rupees for the entire 8-village pilot. I mean, to put that into perspective, when you consider the vast intelligence gained, we're talking preventing massive crop failures, optimizing regional water canals, and securing the local food supply. This is an incredibly cost-effective intervention. It's a real game changer.
Om Gaikwad's team has shown us that by combining satellite data with hybrid AI, we no longer have to sit around and wait for a crop to physically show us it's dying. We can literally know before it even happens. So I'll leave you with this. As space tech and AI continue to evolve at these breakneck speeds, how will this new supervision reshape the future of our global food security? It's a truly fascinating future to look forward to. Thanks so much for joining